I think
At the
it
end of
was
the day, look
good.
here, buddy. Look here, guy. Little guy, big
Little
guy.
guy.
Hey, you want to?
All
Yeah,
right.
okay. Yeah, you getting there. You getting small.
You
So big
right.
thing, right? So I was thinking about this, and I saw this on this therapy show. What is something that you would tell your inner child? What is something that big you at your big age would tell if you can go back in time to maybe 10 years old and tell 10-year-old Will is, are you going to tell him, hey, don't worry, we go bald?
Responses don't require reaction. And that's it. Until they
Always.
be like,
What's up?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Grump over there and
Man.
me, we got over there, but I'm right here. Yourself. You're trying to make yourself better each day. There's somebody out there fighting.
He just like it was. I forget because we were going through. I forgot what we were going through. Going to some inspection. He's like, it's gonna make you look fucking. When I sure enough, and she's like, she's freaking yoga.
Yeah.
That is a freaking clothes, all that stuff. That's all stuff that's like appearance, small stuff. I heard.
All right, so you're bringing up something deep, so I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
If I can go back and tell 10-year-old Will, I would say have more of a fighting spirit and stop putting so much trust in people around you. I'm not saying I didn't have a decent childhood, but it also wasn't the greatest. I went through a lot. But the thing I would say is I'd look at him and be like, you need to fight more. You need to fight and be more vocal about what's going on and cause more of a scene. Because I stay quiet about a lot of stuff. I don't know if it was out of fear or repercussion or whatever, but I did. I did stay silent about a lot of shit. And that was the one thing I wish I wouldn't say solid about. I wish a little bit more breath about things. But and I would have pressed my parents to keep me in the things that I wanted to be, that I was actually interested in. Child, I was really interested in karate. I was really interested in, I wanted to be BMX race. I liked playing football. It was cool, but it wasn't like, man, it gets me excited to go to freaking football practice. I was more excited to go to the BMX track. So I should have been more vocal about those things. But what you don't know is what you don't know. Like I didn't grow up understanding how to take care of myself and be physically active, but football brought that, right? So just those type of the small things that I know now is what I go back and tell them, hey, you need to be more physically active, not just for sports, but for yourself. Because realistically, this is the one thing I had to notice. Like I knew how to lift weights and I trained hard through football season and all that stuff. This is a little bit past 10, but realistically, after I graduated high school, I was a lazy fuck. I was. I didn't. I was only active because I played sports. You know what I'm saying? And other than that, I was lazy as hell. And I had to learn that about myself. I was like, oh, like. But fortunate enough, I had a good foundation of what working out is and lifting through the summer football program and all the other stuff. And I kind of turned all that around, and now I'm a very active person. I'm proud of that, man, because I know where I could be at if I wouldn't have did that. But other than that, man, overall, yeah, I would say have more of a fighting spirit and be vocal about what's going on with you as a person. Yeah. What about for you, man? What are some things you could go back and tell your younger
Oh,
self?
man, that guy probably wouldn't even listen to one of the things I tell him because he was arrogant. If I can go back and tell young me something and hope they would listen to, is that, hey, guess what? You're not always going to feel alone. The things that you go through isn't everybody's fault. A lot of the things that you go through are your own fault. You're your biggest op a lot of the times. But always remember this. There are going to be moments where you're going to be super sad and they're going to come. There are fixed points in time, no matter what. But the old man prepared us for this, prepared us for these moments. Hey, you got to get up, dust yourself off and keep moving. And that's it. And push forward. That's the biggest thing. And trust. Trust. Learn to trust people more. Ask more questions when like investing. Could ask more questions. Definitely could ask more questions when you started that. But I know for the most part, the one thing I want to tell you to do is, and this is what caused you to be your own biggest op, is don't be as arrogant. It's okay to be confident. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance, and a lot of the times you leaned into the arrogant realm about who you were. You almost lost a few people because of that. You almost lost a lot of people in your life because of that. But be kind and just keep it moving. Push forward. Other than that,
Is
hey, this moment in time isn't always going to last always.
what's a moment as a child that you wish you could go back and do over that would give you a better start in life? I think everybody has that one moment where you're like, man, I wish I would have done this at this age because then I would be better ahead in life. As a child, though, not as a young adult. That's different. But as a child, there's damn, if I would have did this instead, I would be.
I don't know how much it would have made a difference of where I ended up at, but it probably would have a lot if I would have focused more on, because I've talked about this before. I played violin, viola, and string bass all the way up until junior high. Don't get me wrong, I love sports and I want to do sports as well, but I enjoy doing those things. And another thing, speech and debate. My biggest thing is with me, I put a lot of preparation because you know how I am about preparation and trying to do these things and get these things set up. Speech and debate was one of those things I prepped in because I really enjoyed it. But if I would have put that same focus into playing the violin, the viola, and the string bass, man, I could tell you I could probably been somewhere else if I would have put that much practice in. Speech and debate, if you see me, if I would have put practice into it, because there were certain parts that I liked more than I liked others. If I would have put more, and that goes into sports as well when I play sports, if I would have put more effort into a lot of things as a child, because like you said, you have that lazy mentality when you get to a certain level and you're like, okay, cool, I'm good. When it didn't start getting real for me until I ran into people who actually did do that work, who was that dog, who was like, boom, boom, and you're sitting there stuck. Like, if I would have put in as much as work as some people did, no telling where I would be. Yeah.
I got a son I got to raise and be a, you know what I'm saying, and be a better man and husband for and all this other stuff. But besides all that, on a happy note, I do things to fulfill my inner child that I didn't get to do now that I got this adult money. You know what I mean? As you can see, the wall behind me of shoes. Now, I'm not a J head or nothing like
You're
that.
you're talking about the wall behind you. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm talking about the wall of shoes and hats behind me.
Behind
Like,
you.
I'm not really.
Oh.
No, behind me. I'm not really a J head. I don't really like J's like that. I have certain numbers, but I do have a respectable amount of sneakers that I collect for myself. Like, but I'm the type of person like my cousin. He used to buy sneakers and he would give me the old sneakers and stuff. So I kind of do that with my nieces and nephews as Funkle. So awesome shoes I get tired of, I'll go hand them out to my nieces and nephews and give them to them and let them rock them. After I get bored with them, I'll buy me a couple new pair. But and then a big thing too is I still love riding my bike. That's a big thing for me is I still do the ride. Right now I've had a lot of time, but ride my bike with Josiah is dope. I love this, even to just ride around the block. But where I live at, there's pump tracks, there's BMX tracks and stuff like that. And that's all stuff. I grew up watching the X Games. That was another big thing. So when I first got to California, like 12 years ago, the X Games were in Los Angeles. So I went to the X Games. That was like a big, that was like my ultimate inner child one, was to be able to go to the X Games and watch BMX Park, street, they're jumping, all that stuff. The rally car racing at the Coliseum, that was like, that hit that was like top of the list for me. But I do try to keep in touch with my inner child and fulfill some of those things that I didn't get to do. I'm not a crazy, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not a crazy. I don't have thousands of pair of shoes, but I got a respectable collection. I ain't trying to spend stupid money on shoes that realistically only last so long and aren't really worth a damn in life anyway. So that's just my personal opinion. But what are some things you do to fulfill your inner child now as an adult? What you do with your adult money?
Sure.
I still play video games too from time to time, but
Sure. With adult money,
yeah,
I used to be heavy on collecting shoes as well. I don't do as much anymore. I love Air Force Ones, but I can say this because we talk about it all the time. The military has provided me a way to see a lot of the things that I figured I wouldn't be able to afford in life. And that's part of the reason why I joined the Navy, to travel. And I've been to so many other places, so many places that I've seen on TV. For instance, when I was stationed out in Japan, we went to Australia, Sydney, Australia, been to the Opera House. Didn't get to see an actual opera there because we weren't there long enough to be able to experience that. But just experiencing being able to walk around the Opera House and to be in Sydney to see different things was amazing. A lot of these things is travel. Eventually, I'll start traveling on my own. I want to travel with somebody once you get that partner and do things like that. My biggest thing that I do now, as you already know, I buy electronics for the most part, keep the most updated thing, and I go from there. Outside of that, food, I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people, super foodie people that be like, oh my God, let me take a picture and do this, X, Y, and Z. No. Anytime I'm hungry, guess what? I'm gonna go eat, go try somewhere new. Especially with me living in different countries, I always like try something new and experiencing food. I might start doing it, might start taking pictures again of all the plates and posting them and stuff. And eventually we might do a Grumpy Gills travel here vlog and all that coolness. But with my adult money, I take care of my nieces and nephews, and as you already know, friends, kids, whenever they want something or they ask for something,
Yeah.
just put it out there. Because at the end of the day, you can't take it with you.
nope.
One day, don't get me wrong, one day soon, we're going to have more money than what we know we can do with it. And we already talked about what we're going to do with it. But yeah, that's what I do with it. I go
Yeah,
places, I go to the movies, I do things on my time versus somebody else's time. That's what I do.
I think like sometimes just I'll ask me for something, and I just think back then when I was a kid, like my parents would have told me no. And I know there's sometimes he needs some no's. There's times I tell him no, but then like I'm like I want to get one too. So all right, let's both go get it. Yeah, if he wants like a squirt gun or something, I'll buy him the one that's not as lethal, and I'll get the big gun. You know what I'm saying? So I can mess him up. Stuff like that, little stuff like that. I don't know. There's always like I think there's always going to be like a big kid in you, right? There's still stuff you want to do that you do as a child. I think too, like it's one thing that once I found out about it as a kid, and I still haven't done it. I'm going to. I want to go skydiving, right? That's one of my big like inner child. I want to go skydiving. I'm going to do that here sooner than later. I know that. And then I think the other big thing too, like I said, I still play video games, but I'm not a gamer. I grew up old school video games where it's like, you beat the game and then that's pretty much it. You leave the game alone after that. So like I'm a big fan of Call of Duty. So when Call of Duty comes out, I play that. Now, however, I'm also a big fan of Zelda. So if they I think they're about to drop a new Zelda for the new Switch. So I'm gonna give my son my freaking HD Switch, take his Switch, and then use it as a trade-in to buy the new Switch so I can play the new Zelda. I played all the new Zeldas that came out since Switch came out, and stuff like that. But I'm not super into like where I play video games 24/7. It's more like, all right, there's a new game I like to play. Let's play it. I'd rather be outside too. Once I retire, I'm going to be outside a lot. I want to do more. I want to go on more bike rides. I want to get a better mountain bike and do some mountain biking. That's all stuff.
Oh, I'm glad you defined that being outside stuff. Because
no, not outside, not outside like you youngest be outside in the streets. I don't care about that stuff no more, man. But like even for me, like I'm a bass head, so one of my goals is to find me my considerably one of my dream trucks, right? So I want to find like a two-door Tahoe, rebuild it, and put like 415s in the back and build like a custom build two-door Tahoe or GMC. That is one of the things. Like I love those vehicles. So yeah, that's the one vehicle I've always, even when I was a kid, I was like between that or Chevy S10, but that's like the ultimate for me. So what I would like to do is find one of those, rebuild it, and then find a wrecked newer Chevy truck and put the new interior. I've been seeing stuff like that. So that's one of the goals. Like on retire is get a hobby vehicle and build it like with Josiah and stuff like that. But those, and then I think too, like I'm also filling my inner child with this clothing brand stuff. I'm even getting to the point where I'm starting to want to do some hand drawing. I don't know, something that's haven't done that in a while. So some other things might start popping out besides using AI and using my creative words to create stuff. But I think I do it realistically too. I do it every day too. Like I said, going to the gym is a big part of filling my inner child, is understanding that I don't have to be the fat little chubby kid no more. You know what I mean? Like I grew up in the days, and probably, I don't know if you did, but I grew up in the Huskies, bro. I was wearing Huskies at 8, 9, because that was the size back then. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
They used to have like the Husky side. It was for the bigger boys.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't start being Husky until second year in the Navy.
Oh no, I've been Husky all my life, man. I remember at one point in time when I was in elementary school, I could fit my pops' freaking pants, man. Size 32. But yeah, other than that, I freaking overall feel like, I think it's a day-to-day basis. I probably starting to lesser down with what I'm doing because we got other stuff going on to try to do. Like I don't really spend so much money on shoes. I'm not gonna go out my way, stand in line, get a pair of J's, bro. I'm gonna take my butt over to Ross or something like that, or order them online if I do like a pair, but I'm not every day. You know what I'm saying? My mom also taught me how to be a bargain shopper. So I know if you go to Ross first thing in the morning, you can usually find a good pair of sneakers for less than $100. Same thing with all the outlets and all that stuff. But I'm not about to sit here wait in line for no J's. I ain't about to wake up early to go stand in line. That shit, I've still to this day, even when the J hype, I've never got the point of that stuff. I was like, I think I did it one time for a pair of Aqua 8s. I woke up really early to get some Aqua 8s. And really, you know what that really showed me? I kept them, and then I ended up giving them to my nephews, and then I had them for so long, they dry rotted out the bottom, and the bottom fell out of them. That's cool, and I felt bad. And I gave them another pair of shoes. And I was like, this just goes to shoot. Not everything lasts, bro. Just sometimes fulfilling your inner child isn't spending all this money on shoes. I think I'm really do that.
Yeah, it's just doing basics, going outside. Like, you remember, I want to say a couple years back, people started posting videos of men frolicking through fields or skipping and stuff like that. Just being not sticking to the male norms and just being yourself, painting your fingernails. And I'm not saying everybody has to do that, or wearing certain colors that, oh yeah, you're not supposed to wear that color because it makes you look a certain type of way. Cool. Some people, if you know how to dress and how to style yourself, it's not gonna matter. Some colors look great on people. Pink looks amazing on me. Purple does. I like a lighter color, pastels and stuff like that. Those colors look great on me. You know, I'm out here wearing that.
Yeah, I wear pink and stuff, but I can't go as far as paint my fingernails and toes. I do personally think
I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just saying that's the thing. Yeah.
No, I understand that. I just think personally that's you're demasculating yourself. But hey, teach your own. I'm not here to judge. You do what you do. It's your life. But even for me right now, everybody's like, where are you gonna have your retirement party at, bro? I'm doing it at the roller skating ring. We're gonna fucking roll bounce. You know what I'm saying? That's how I want. I don't want to freaking have no. You know what I'm saying? I want to skate, bro. I don't want to roll skate for the retirement party. Roll bounce. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to move and groove for my retirement party. I don't want to be freaking standing around sipping drinks and talking a bunch of nothing, bro. I want to go move and grooves. But then I think for the most part, I also did a lot of self-healing for my inner child. Like I said, even stuff from the past, stuff that I went through. I do some self-healing, some self-growth, went seek therapy through all that. And I'm still working and growing. Healing is a lifetime process. You got to heal through situations, and you got to reach back to your memories to try and heal from that. But a lot of things I have grown up from that inner child. Now I just try to have fun with my inner child vice, try to fight against them and still figure things out, right? I just try to understand that I'm an adult too. I got responsibilities. So I can't just be out here just blowing money for no reason on shoes and fucking hats or whatever, man. I got my son to take care of, and he's got his stuff that he wants too. So within means, but other than that,
Gotta understand priorities.
Yeah. Other than that, man, I try to keep it simple when it comes to my inner child and fixing them and indulging in things that I would still want to do as an inner child. I think my next big move is probably gonna be the skydiving move. That's probably going to be part of the retirement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, other than that, man, you got anything else that you like to do for your inner child or things to help heal
For
your
the
inner
most
child?
part, me and my inner child, we're living the life that we wanted to live for the most part. We're getting to travel, we're seeing the world. As of right now, we got another few years added on to doing that. So can't really complain. One day, hopefully I can be where you're at with the family. But me and the inner
Yes,
child right
sir.
now, we chilling. We living life. And like you said, we're getting better at learning how to do things. And one more thing I probably could add on to it is, hey, communication is always key, 110%. A few of my situations I look back on in life, communication would have been would have saved a lot of heartache or would have saved a lot of trauma. But hey, to each of their own, life happens. There are certain things in life, no matter what you would have did, they would have happened. Regardless, maybe they probably would have been a little bit easier, but character development is always a thing in everyday life, no matter what. And with that, we love you. Keep showing up. We'll keep showing up. Peace, love, and happiness. We're
And
out.
chicken grease.
Nope. Gotta be healthy over here. Gotta be healthy. Gotta be healthy.
Love, peace, chicken grease. We